here from France, Cluster, an international city in Dubai, quartered by the French people, I guess. I don't know. Google ain't telling me nothing about this, or just telling me it exists. Doesn't give me any more context behind that. But anyway, we are here today with yet another rendition of ESL Open Cup Asia Division number 242. That's like you take the 2 and then you minus the 4. And no, you take the 4 and then you minus the 2 and then you have a 2 left over. There we go. I'm of course your host Yaku of the Zaku, and with me today is El Conejo en la Luna que es abuela in Splatoon. Light _ VIP. How are you doing, Light?
What's up, Yaku? What's up? It's great to be back once again, as you mentioned, with ESL Open Cup Asia. You weren't. It's been a while since we've been able to cast together, especially with the hiatus of WTL. But we are back, and WTL is coming back this weekend as well.
Indeed, it is. Gonna be the playoffs that week. It'll be an intense weekend, and it all starts on Monday. Well, not WTL, but our week of StarCraft begins on Monday over here with the ESL Asia. And oh boy, have we got a treat for all of you. We're kicking things off with 2 fan favorites here on the CranKy Ducklings channel. A little bit of a TVZ, kicking it off on Oceanborn, where we're here in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the bottom right. We, of course, have our red Terran player coming down from the land of Japan, representing both Japan as well as Korea, as well as his team Hyper One. We have HonMonO.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner, going gas first and flooding links across the map, we have the Australian Zerg player, the green Zerg. Representing himself, it is NXZ, Ryan Jones. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Predictions have since closed, actually, so best of luck, as again, we have links flooding across the map. Link speed is soon to finish on the horizon, and Ryan has not made a drone in quite some time.
No, he has not. This is what Ryan absolutely loves to do. I can see my list coming in there for a second, but that is what Ryan loves to do most, is starts flooding links in the early game, apply pressure on his opponents, delay their build for as long as possible, and then hang back, make a handful of drones, and get to the mid-game.
Yeah, back at home, as you mentioned, Ryan is droning up. Meanwhile, the bunker has yet to finish. Lings, they try to flood in, but the boys are here to body block, and we will protect that Marine. The SCVs are going to be going down, but the bunker does finish up in time, and with that, HonMonO will defend. He will shut down these Lings, and Ryan is unable to break through. He will bleed out all those things in the end, will delay some of the production, does force out an eBay, does force out a bunker, but that was 12 Lings going down, and HonMonO holds.
Indeed, he does. I mean, that was 5 SCVs going down, which is pretty nice in the early game, but HonMonO, yeah, he's already getting 2 orbital commands. He's going to be able to mule his way back very, very soon.
Oh yeah, is going to be able to mule on up. Behind this, he's getting into his 1-on-1, as did mention. Going for a later 3rd CC, but this is just a really safe play. Really safe play from HonMonO, making sure that if Ryan does go for a Roach Ravager all in, then HonMonO will be ready for it. He will defend against it. Ideally, we'll have Banshees on the way. I say Banshees, we actually don't have a tech lab, so we're not going for an add-on swap. So yeah, it's going to be a bit of a different setup. Well, there we go.
We are, but not quite the add-on swap that I think most of us were expecting here. So yeah, very classic, a very, I would say old school and standard Hellion opener coming up from HonMonO. We'll see if, yeah, there we go, I was about to say, we'll see if this tech lab on the barracks ends up being another add-on swap, and looks like it is. HonMonO is playing things safe, which is not what I'm really used to here, Light. I'm used to a bit of a wilder HonMonO coming up with insane builds, but hey, there's still time for him to throw down an armory, there's still time for him to transition into a Hellbat push.
Oh yeah, there is still time for that. Meanwhile, NXZ comes in for a scout, does confirm the 1-on-1, will confirm the cloak being researched on the tech lab as well, so Ryan is fully aware of what is going on and will be preparing back at home, so we should be able to just settle in towards the mid-game. Ryan has been able to drone up, but the drones are lighting up!
And 4 of them already go down. Not a lot of links here, and yeah, the rest of the links are going to fall regardless. Queens now going to be in position to chase these away, but still, this is some fantastic damage that HonMonO has dealt.
Yeah, this is some nice damage so far, as we do see Ryan trying to keep up and is going to be able to shoo away the Hellions for the time being, is joining up behind this, trying to replace what he has since lost. Now, thankfully, even though HonMonO did get some drone kills, what is important is that HonMonO did go for a later third base, so this is still acceptable damage and acceptable losses for Ryan. He's still able to maintain himself, and HonMonO is still looking for more damage.
Okay, not quite like this. This is a really good concave. Really good arc of queens that Ryan has set up over here. Drones are starting to line up a little bit, but thankfully they were lining up far away from the rest of the Hellions. Beautiful body blocking from the side of Ryan. And now all the Hellions are going to fall.
Yeah, very nicely done. At the same time, Banshee does hit the third base, so we have a Spore in position. Only 2 drones go down. Very nice defense here from Ryan. As you mentioned, the body blocking, the wall-off that was made with the queens was beautifully done. And now we're going to be calming things down, backing off. HonMonO is getting a third CC and is throwing down extra axes behind this, settling in towards that mid-game. And so far hasn't really been too or as successful as he wanted with these Hellions, but he has 4 more on the way. Did invest into quite a lot of Hellions here.
Yeah, let's have expected him to go into mech from behind this, but there we go. Those are the 4 more barracks that are on the way. You'll have to see it as well, the good old 1-1-1 into 5-1-1.
Oh yeah, we have the 5 racks
You
set
just
up
skip
here.
the 3-1-1, yeah.
we do just skip it entirely. This could be the beginning with the A-racks as well from HonMonO. Bear that in mind, as Banshees, they do slip into the main. Queens are attempting to keep up, and so far NXZ is able to maintain himself, is able to minimize losses for a little bit longer here, and is actually getting into roach play.
Yeah, we've seen this quite a lot in recent months, recent weeks. Roach play becoming a lot more common nowadays in ZvT. I don't think that it ever truly went away, but yeah, especially with the success of, but especially after Dallas and GSL, I think we've been seeing a lot more roach play.
Yeah, exactly. For a while now, we've had a lot of roach play. We've had a lot of Ling roach base play here from Zerg players, and Ryan is on to embrace that as well. So far, the Banshees are going to try and slow down the expansion, try and slow down the 4th, but alas, we are going to be able to keep up with the rotations and force back those Banshees, at least for the time being. And I believe we have yet to scout the roach horn itself, so HonMonO, he's not fully aware of what Ryan is up to.
Oh. That could be a little bit of an issue, and you were right in the money. HonMonO now up to 8 Raxes, but has neglected his tank production quite a bit. He has 1 tank over here in the high ground, and that's about it for the time being.
Yeah, just the 1 tank for now. The supply block is brutal. We've been supply block for a couple of moments here. 6 more depots on the way. But we are getting there. And again, HonMonO with this A-Rex is going to be going for essentially a 3-base all-in. Going to be sending everything across the map. And we'll see how hard he hits. We'll see if Ryan is ready for this, as he is amassing more roaches, is investing into +1 range as well. Quite heavily into Roach Ravager, and I'm curious how this compares to an A-Rex. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I want to believe that if you just keep pumping out more and more and more man with gun, you're going to be able to overwhelm any amount of roaches that are coming your way, but there is math involved, so I'm not great at judging that.
Yeah, we'll see. As NXZ, he has co-workers at 3-base saturation. He's going for an all-in. Sorry, I said NXZ, Ryan. He's co-workers at 3-base saturation. He's moving out with purely Roach Ravager, just as HonMonO moves out across the map. So these Marines are not going to be at home to defend. And as you said, there's only 1 tank. Oh, there's 2.
1 tank siege up in the high ground. There's a 2nd tank unsiege outside in the 3rd base. But now Ryan is knocking down the front door of HonMonO. Natural base. Pretty much every single SCV in the natural base is starting to fall. Ryan has been able to break into the main, but his roaches have been taking a lot of tech shots.
You say that.
Tech's taken out, the tech count gets reset.
Yeah, we take down every single tank. The tanks have fallen. Boys are going down 22 SCVs at the same time. Looks like reinforcements are being slowed down by the double drop, but Ryan, it looks like he is being cleaned up. Yeah, with reinforcements, with all these Marines, the roaches are being forced back. Again, the reinforcements, if we had them across the map, maybe that would have been enough to break the 3rd, but alas, they were held up.
What? Indeed they were, but I just got booted from the game.
Oh. Okay. No, Yaku!
An unexpected fatal error has occurred.
Yeah. No. Were you having some frame drops in game?
I was not at
Oh.
all.
Oh.
I was fine until all of a sudden they just kicked me.
Feels bad on it, man. Feels bad on it. Sometimes Battle.net can be a little bit shaky at times when it comes to its connection.
They know that I've been unfaithful and I've been playing a lot of heroes.
There you go. So we will be getting back into our first game here, and I'm sure Yaku will be able to join us for game number 2 once everything is reset and all that good stuff. Hopefully it doesn't happen too often here tonight, but I'm sure it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
As we are going to be jumping back in. And here we go. We do have Roaches still rallying across the map. Alas, we have plenty of Marines at home to defend. We have Banshees as well, and the Roaches, we have no more Ravagers. No more Ravagers to help support, just purely Roach. And Ryan is running out of steam a little bit here. Nice stutter stepping out of HonMonO, peeling off a lot of those Roaches. Tank production still underway. No other tank yet. And there's no kind of backup plan here for Ryan. There's no fourth base, sorry. There's no fifth base. There's no saturation. There's no drones. It's just purely Roach. It is going to be purely Roach here for Ryan. He is going to be pulling back. Meanwhile, we do see HonMonO. He is holding on again. The Mass Bio Army will hold its own. Even without tanks, Mass Marine can deal with Roaches. Again, Roaches do not scale well into a longer game. But Ravagers are being rebuilt, and we're just getting ready for the second wave, for the second push. Getting ready for that second push. Meanwhile, I do notice that I have been noticing some frame drops as well from my own side, and I will try to restart my client after this game to try to fix any issues, and hopefully it does resolve those issues. As NXZ is going to be rotating over. Queen's coming in as well for some anti-air. Going to be able to chase down those Banshees. Tunneling Claw Roaches coming in from the right-hand side, but there is a turret. The Roaches are spotted. Factory's under fire. We do deny any kind of additional tank production. We have tanks at the natural, but we're going in. We commit. There's a tank on the high ground. There's a tank also on the high ground as well. We have to fall back. We do deny mining here at the third base. CC forced to be lifted. Likewise, fourth base for HonMonO, not really saturated, not really mining. And Ryan, he is getting damage done. He is containing his opponents to do bases. Now we drone! Ryan, and now he's droning up. Now he's setting up here on 4 bases. HonMonO going for a Doom Drop across the map. Ryan is unaware. Uh-oh. There's not much at home to defend. Ryan is not ready for this. It rocks up at the base once again, but here comes that Doom Drop. And Ryan, he has to evacuate. Does save his drones, but I can't say the same for the base itself. Hatchery is going to go down. And it looks like the Roaches do make it home in time to force the lift, but this is the downside of this kind of army composition for Ryan, for NXZ, is the lack of anti-air. Yeah, drop into the main. The Queen is going down. Hydrogen as well. Yeah, massive pickoff. We snipe the Hydrogen. NXZ is maxed out, but stuck with purely Roaches. Oof. Snipe more Overseers, rotating down towards the third base as well. Did you keep rotating? Ryan trying to keep up. Oh, the Biles! Not quite. But HonMonO getting back to saturation here at his third. His fourth now a planetary. Building up to 57 SCVs. Then we have 6 tanks in total. That's a lot of tanks. That's a lot of firepower here for HonMonO. And Ryan, he's stuck with a subpar army. Yeah, he's stuck with Roaches. Rebuilt the Hydrogen, getting into Hydra upgrades, working towards a Hive. Ryan is still maxed out, but again, the soup does lie. It's one of those things where Ryan he has 200 supply of an inefficient army, and it's difficult to really make this work. It is difficult. Gonna peel off some units. Do you see HonMonO once again going for a drop play? We have a double drop on the right. We have a Doom Drop here on the left. Hydras are keeping up. Oh, we denied the initial drop. But the hatchery is now under fire. And we're gonna drop in the hydrogen once again. No. Oh my god, we deny Hydra speed. If speed is denied, hatchery goes down. And we're going for another hatchery. Another snipe. HonMonO gets the 4th, gets the natural. Going for the 5th. Now the new 4th base. And Ryan just cannot keep up. Cannot keep up with the drop play. He was so close to breaking HonMonO. That's another hatchery going down. NXZ down to 2 bases. And 2 bases remaining. 3 hatcheries being sniped. Almost at the same time. And HonMonO snowballing out of control again. Just has so much bio back at him as well. Getting up to 8 tanks, Marines, Marauders. Ryan, has he spotted the planet? The planetary wasn't spotted either. It's been up for a while. And we'll see if Ryan can break that planetary. He needs to trade. Ryan has a bank, but again, is stuck on Roach Hydra. Oh, it's not going to be pretty. As they're picking up a lot of roaches. We have a decent CranKy, but the tank volleys are brutal. Now the Vipers will help. We have how many? We have 2 Vipers. 2 Vipers for NXZ. For Ryan. Ryan rotating over. Trying to keep up with the main army. Once again, another drop on the right-hand side. 4 Medevacs full of Marines. Ryan is getting ready. Getting into 3-3. Can we catch the medevac? Oh, almost. Casi though. You almost catch the medevacs. But now what's terrifying is HonMonO's maxed. HonMonO's maxed out with a terrifying army. An insane force of units. And NXZ, he's going to have to try to slow this down, slowly trade out his forces and rebuild and remax to have a chance at fighting this many tanks. That's going to be 10 tanks for HonMonO. Oh my god. This is an army that can aim move. We don't even need to siege up the tanks. We don't even need them. 5th base is going to be going down. At the same time, Ryan going for a massive counterattack. This is the best, this is the best option here. Ryan cannot fight this head on. It's not going to happen. So it goes for a big run by. We'll get into the mineral lines. We'll get some SCVs. But the Roach Warren goes down. And Hydras and Roaches, they just cannot fight this army. It's not going to happen. We're stimming on in. HonMonO may have lost the 3rd. And we're pushing into the natural. But HonMonO is not done. He's also taking down the Lurker Den. No Lunkers. That would have been the answer. Lurkers would have helped so much. HonMonO, he's stimming on forward. Breaking into the 3rd base, pushing into the main. Likewise, we catch the tanks. Okay. We do pick off all the tanks. Not bad. I say all the tanks. Most of the tanks are still 3 tanks behind this. Roaches, they will be able to target them down just barely. We focus on every single tank. But do the drones escape? Do they survive? We're running out of buildings. Some of the drones, they will make it out. The Vipers helping the Bio Army kill the building. Drones on the run. There are still some gas geysers on the map. NXZ pushing forward. The main base is not going to be broken. We have tanks. We have Liberators as well. We cannot break the main. We're going to try. Oh, but the turrets are finishing. Oof. Oh, no, not up here. Not up the ramp. GG gets called, and HonMonO will take game number 1. GG, well played. An intense and insane game there, but HonMonO will take a lead in the series. Ooh, and yeah, we'll start off with a 1-0 lead.
Comeback. Yeah.
It was crazy, man. GG. I mean, again, it was one of those things where Ryan, he was doing some critical damage. He was doing a lot of economic damage, but I mean, as we saw, and as you were seeing yourself before the lag outs, Ryan's army just doesn't really scale well in towards a longer game, unfortunately. Like, as the game went on further and further, like, it was just becoming more and more difficult for NXZ to keep up.
Yeah, it looked like it. We also had a well, I'm trying trying to piece things together based on context clues, but yeah, I caught a little bit of the rest of the game on stream. There was some really nice drops coming in from HonMonO as well, with multi-prong just trying to distract Ryan for as long as possible while he could get his own economy back up and running.
Mhm.
I've been there myself in a scenario like that, down or getting an entire mineral line killed, and I gotta tell you, it killed to roaches, and I gotta tell you, like, 9 times out of 10, I'm pretty sure I would have just lost 5 minutes later. So yeah, impressive stuff coming out here from HonMonO.
Yeah, you know, keeping a cool, calm, and collected head on his shoulders. You know, being able to keep up with the aggression of Ryan and able to stabilize and maintain himself. And yeah, with that, GG, well played. HonMonO does take a lead, and now we're getting ready for game number 2. I'm just gonna be restarting my client to try to get back into this. I was having like some latency in game, and hoping this fixes it. Hoping.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. Blizz. It seems like there's a couple of issues going on here today on BNet.
Yeah, just a couple.
Blizzard intern mining bitcoins. Oh.
So good. We are jumping in. And game 2 is going to be on Crimson Court.
Yeah, very different map compared to Oceanborn in terms of color. But also in terms of layout and stuff.
Here we go. So Crimson Court's an interesting one. I'm surprised that it made it through the vetoes, but Crimson Court is a very defendable map. Very defendable just because your third base can be quite difficult to really engage upon. So we have seen many a Terran player like turtle up and get up to 3, 4, 5 bases and cut the map in half, enter a longer game. Based on game 1, though, I don't expect Ryan to really head in that direction. I'd be surprised.
Not at all. I think I've seen a lot of other Zerg players, like you said, take advantage of the defensive layout on this map and just try to tech into lunkers as quickly as possible, but I don't think Ryan is one of those players. But anyway, regardless, we are going to be continuing our best of 3 series now on Crimson Court. We're over here in the top right-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the top right. We, of course, have our red Terran player coming out from the land of Japan, representing both Japan and Korea. It's like the 2002 World Cup up in here. As well as his team, Hyper One. We have the most honorable of moderables. He is HonMonO.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, going for a 15-15, we have the Australian Zerg player, the blue Zerg. It is Ryan. NXZ Jones. Oh boy. And in the last game, we had a gas first opener. It was gas pool hatch. This time, 15-15, a much safer build for Ryan.
Yeah, again, makes sense, considering the layout of the map and all that. I do think that you can still get away, on Crimson Court at least, you can still get away with a bit of an earlier Ling aggression. I mean, it's going to take a while before the Terran player can get all those tanks up and get even Hellions out. But considering NXZ already did it once in game number 1, and HonMonO was able to react pretty quickly against it, throwing out a bunker and an eBay and all that, didn't take as much damage as he could have. And once again, it just makes sense for Ryan to do something a little bit more normal.
Yeah, it also feels like, especially when you go for a 15-15, that Ryan was expecting a 2-Rack Reaper build, 2-Rack Reaper out of HonMonO, which we have seen from him in the past. So yeah, Ryan just trying to preemptively be ready for something like that as he is settling in, getting into his Queen production, droning up as well, and we'll see what direction Ryan does take us in. The other thing that could be a factor is if Ryan takes the center base, but this is so difficult to hold onto in this matchup. If we do try to go for it, then the Gas Geyser can come into play, and we could work towards another Roach-based all-in.
Yeah. It's a weird little tug of war that you have, an arms race, if you will, here on Crimson Court.
So we'll see which third is going to be taken.
Yeah, but for the time being, we're just, yeah, like you said, we're going to be waiting to see which third is being taken. I, for one, am going to be keeping my eyes glued to that production tab because we I'm curious about HonMonO. Earlier, he opened up with an interesting little Hellion Banshee opener, and I'm curious to see if he'll do it again. He's actually going
Yeah.
for a 3x before Starport this time.
Yeah, this time 3 CC before Starport, as you mentioned. If you recall, last game was a straight up 1-1-1, so this time a more economic build out of HonMonO. And oh, actually it's going to be a 3 CC 2-1-1. That's a second Rex.
Indeed, it is. Okay, so HonMonO this time going to be taking a bit more of the initiative. Still opening up with a couple of safety Hellions, obviously, especially when you're up against a player like Ryan. You want to make sure you don't get caught with your pants down in front of a whole pack of Lings.
Yeah, exactly. As the way, even going for the eBay block at the natural. Oh my god, at the third base even. So we delay the third base, but Ryan went for a very fast lair. That was an insane. That was like what, a 3-minute 20 lair timing from NXZ. Roach Warren's on the way as well, so it is going to be Roach play once again. Very committed Roach play with this fast lair. We can rush into Roach speed, and we'll see how hard NXZ does commit. And for the most part, HonMonO has scouted this. Didn't see the lair, but did see the Roach Warren.
Yeah, he should be able to piece 2 and 2 together from here. What's coming this way? So now we have it, a much quicker add-on swap with the factory this... Wait. Yeah, much quicker add-on swap with the factory this time. So we are just going to get into those medevacs. We are just going to be getting into those drops to try to clear up creep.
Yeah, as I mentioned, because it's a 3cc 2-on-1, this means that this time very few Hellions. We only have 4 Hellions this time as opposed to like the 12 that we made last time. And oh my god, we knocked the Queens out of position with diving into the mineral line.
Yeah, great use of the KDA charge here. The drones are starting to line up. And they are starting to get barbecued. 7 of them go down, and we're actually still able to get more. 10 drones in total. Well, I say in total, but these Hellions are still alive.
Yeah, it's going to be 10 worker kills, and we got a full scout. Bearing in mind that NXZ is going for an all-in. He's going for a German taxi. That's why we have Overlord speed on the way. He's going for a queen drop and roaches across the map, but his economy has been stifled, and he has been completely scouted.
Yeah. He's even more all-in now than he was before, but the problem is, even though he's more committed this time, it is still going to be a weaker push.
Yeah, exactly. As here we go, we have the drop load loading up, and NXZ is going to be sending everything across the map. It's all or nothing for Ryan, and back at home, HonMonO is prepared. Stim is already done, and if HonMonO realizes what's going on, he can even try to catch this Overlord ahead of time and try to shut it down. Oh.
Yeah, he knows. He's trying to get the Overseer at the very least, and he will. Huge supply block here on NXZ. Stim has finished up. He moved out tanks. There aren't that many roaches on the ground. He can't transfuse them. They're so creepy here.
Oh my god. He cannot transfuse. He does not get the Overlord, though. He doesn't get the drop load. It does still maintain itself. Roaches get across the map. Tank does siege. And we just save a lot of these SCVs. They will escape in time.
Yeah, very quick reaction coming out here from HonMonO. This natural base obviously is still in a lot of trouble, but he's kept everything he needs to keep alive. He's kept his workers alive. He's actually going to be able to save the CC.
Yeah, exactly. The tank's doing a lot of damage in the backline. The CC's getting very low. We'll have to lift. We'll have to float on over towards the main base, but at the same time, the third base is on location, and HonMonO, he's going for the Queens, does deny the tumor.
Yeah, that tumor was the one anchor point that NXZ was going to have with this all in. Now that it's gone, he cannot transfuse, he cannot do much of anything. Third base has just landed, and we're getting mules on top of it as well.
Yeah.
This is just a disastrous start for NXZ.
Yeah, I mean, he does deny the upgrades. He does snipe both eBays, and he's going to get a couple of SCVs. HonMonO, he did leave a little bit too early. He's hunting down the Queens. That's going to cost him 14 SCVs.
Yeah, that's not bad. And now the third base is also exposed. Ryan doesn't quite get eyes on it. I believe his roaches might have just caught the shadow of those SCVs, but yeah, not quite Ryan himself.
Yeah, so NXZ does race back home. He's getting his third base saturated. Now he's droning. So now NXZ is droning up. He did not do enough to kill HonMonO, and HonMonO actually has a pretty solid economy. We're on 42 workers plus mules, so we have a comparable economy to that of Ryan, to NXZ, and we can see that NXZ is working towards infestation bit. I imagine that should be for infestors.
Yeah, infestors to try to lock down these marines, to try to nail them with your biles. Yeah, it seems a little bit early, at least worker count-wise, for it to be a high transition.
Yeah, exactly. As the Marines, they get across the map, and you can see how well Marines can trade. This is why Roaches don't scale well into the mid-game, because they just cannot touch this kind of army. The hatchery's under fire at the same time, and NXZ does hit the third base of HonMonO. Does take a lot of damage, but the Marines across the map are doing so much more as they pick off Roaches and they pick off the base.
Like so. We have Ryan just trying to poke in, trying to take out some SCVs that are repairing that TC, but yeah, it's not going to happen with that tank on the high ground. The rest of the Roaches are going to fall, and I don't really see a path to victory here for NXZ.
As we do see NXZ trying to expand the left-hand side, but last, still no third base. He's stuck on a two-base economy. Hive is on the way. Bold move here by Ryan. It looks like he's trying to work towards Lurker production, or just Roach, Hydra, Viper, if that. So we're taking out, but at the same time, HonMonO is skyrocketing ahead economically.
You know, if he turtles up, NXZ, I mean, on 4 bases with Lunkers.
Huh?
Lunkers are pretty good.
Lunkers, they can.
You know, HonMonO might forget to make ghosts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lunkers are pretty good. Yeah. There's a path.
There is a path. There is a path to victory here, especially if HonMonO leaves NXZ alone. The problem is that we're still dropping. We're still dropping, and we're going for the third base once again. And can we force a cancel? We can.
Force a cancel, and then we have the rest of the Marines lifting up. GG gets called, and HonMonO is going to be taking that series 2-0. Nicely done.
Ooh, GG, well played. HonMonO will take the series again. Game 1 was really close. Game 1 was like, Ryan was so close to breaking HonMonO then and there. Here in game number 2, it was just an unfortunate, cascading turn of events there, where things were going from bad to worse. If you remember at the start of the game, HonMonO, he went for the Hellion dive. He roasted up a lot of drones. He scattered everything he needed to. That's why HonMonO was so prepared for the all-in. Not just prepared for it, but delayed it heavily as well.
Yeah, indeed he did, and from that point on, the game was really HonMonO's. It was really HonMonO's game to lose from that point forward, and funnily enough, he didn't lose it. Ryan, I think, had the right idea. I mean, he knew that he had to go, he had to attack, considering his position, but didn't do nearly enough damage to really put him back on, I would say, better footing. He was on equal footing for a while, but he had to sacrifice a lot of Roaches to get there, whereas HonMonO, even though he lost a lot of SCVs, kept his army alive, kept it very, very strong, was immediately just able to counterattack in a way that Ryan, unfortunately, wasn't prepared for.
Yeah, exactly. On top of that, right, the third base was being muled in the middle of the attack as well, right? So it's not like the economy was looking too bad for HonMonO even after losing all those SCVs. Like, he could afford to lose those workers, and with that, GG, well played. HonMonO does take the series, does advance on, and HonMonO has another opponent in the next round.